Hey, Shalom. First, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the whole elected house of David. Let's get into this. This is going to be the next part to Luke, a little understanding of Luke chapter 5. We're going to get into this. This is Luke chapter 5, starting at verse 17. Listen. And it came to pass on a certain day, as he was teaching, that there were Pharisees and doctors of the law sitting by, which were come out of every town of Galilee and Judea and Jerusalem, and the power of the Lord was present to heal them. And behold, men brought in a bed a man which was taken with palsy, and they sought means to bring him in, and to lay him before him. And when they could not find by what way they might bring him in because of the multitude, they went up upon the housetop and let him down through the tilling with his couch into the midst before Yahweh Shai. And when he saw their faith, he said unto him, Man, thy sins are forgiven thee. And the scribes and Pharisees began to reason, saying, Who is this which speaketh blasphemy? Who can forgive sins but Yahweh alone? But when Yahweh shall perceive their thoughts, he answering and said unto them, What reason ye in your hearts? Whether it is easier to say, Thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, Rise up and walk. But that ye may know that the Son of Man have power upon earth to forgive sins, he said unto the sick of the palsy, I say unto thee, arise and take up thy couch and go into thy house. And immediately he rose up before them and took up that whereon he lay, and departed to his own house, glorifying Yahweh. And they were all amazed, and they glorified Yahweh, and were filled with fear, saying, We have seen strange things. Today. And fear also goes into awe. Not just that you scared of alligator or dinosaur or whatever, or what have you, but of awe. But going to this, we just illustrated these people, they show what? They show some tremendous faith. What? Because what? They tried to, they did all that just to get to Yahweh Shai, because they believed on Yahweh Shai that he had the power to do so. That he had the power to do so. And it went through all that trouble. They had to carry this man. That's taxing, that's exhausting. They had to, they couldn't get in, so they had to go around. They had to look this way and that way, while carrying this man, Then so they couldn't find a place in. So what they had to do, they had to go up on the top and open up the ceiling just to let this man in. So what, he can be healed by Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai what? Yahweh Shai said, he saw that. Yahweh Shai saw that and said, Hey, that's enough. You are healed. Because look, faith is beautiful. Faith is a beautiful thing to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It's a beautiful thing to them. Was that scripture I love quoting? Uh, you know, those who believe on him, you know, blessed are those that have not seen, but yet believe. Roughly paraphrasing, you know, you know, faith. That faith is a beautiful thing. Listen, this is Mark 2:5. Listen, and when Yahushua saw their faith, it says a different here. And when Yahushua saw their faith, he said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, thy sins be forgiven thee. He said when he saw their faith, he said, your sins be forgiven you. Because what? That's who he coming to. That's who he coming for. He coming for those that believe on him, that believe. And that's who salvation is for. Our next lesson might be for that. Belief. It's all about belief. It's all about belief, But faith is a beautiful thing too. Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And Yahweh Shem Yahushai means Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Faith is a beautiful thing to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, Check this out. Just to kind of back up what I'm saying. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 1. Verse 27, listen. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction, being afraid or meaning both, the awe and the actual fear, because you fear of going outside of Yahweh Shem Shai's way of life, way of thinking. The law, statute, commandment, that's his way of thinking, that's his way of life. He has set for his people. Actually for everybody on this earth, but first and foremost his people. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom, because what you saying, okay, I don't want to go outside this, because if I go outside this, it's gonna mess me up. I'm gonna have to pay for it. Back then you literally had to pay with sacrificing, but also you could jeopardize your status, your living status, you can mess up, the Lord can jack you up, or take your life, and you be like, it's all in your mind, be like, man, I need to, I don't need to fool with this, because if I were to do this, if I were to steal, guess what? My hand gone. If I were to commit adultery, what? That's my life. And so on and so forth. But in all of it too, because once you understand the law, statute, commandments, what they're here for, you be like, man, that makes sense. Man, okay. If we keeping this, everything will be better than what it once was. Especially now, we see this now because we understand. If the law were to be applied, how much things would be better. If they were actually applied in this current earth age. Again. This is verse 27, is Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 27. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction, and faith and meekness are his what? Delight. Look, faith and meekness are his delight. So seeing faith, someone believing on you believe on him. Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Yahweh and Yahushai loves that. They love that because what? That's like, your wife, she ain't got no doubt on you. She believe, even though you're not there, she believe that you're gonna have things set up, that everything runs smoothly for her. She ain't panicking cause you ain't there and seeking out another man. No, no, that's faithless. You know, then that's what our people do, and our people have done. Cause I met somebody in my current life that has done that. You know, you know, or they say praying was not enough, so they sought help elsewhere. Elsewhere, I'm not talking about no physician. I'm talking about literally elsewhere. Talking about tapping into that left side. Like damn, you know. But that's why people did. They believe Yahweh Shem Shai, Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai was not helping them. So what? They sought something elsewhere. Elsewhere. They went to another god. They all sought one of these idols out. You know? Faithless. That's why Yahweh and Yahweh Shai delights in what? Faith. Because even though you don't see him, you believe that he has these things set up in order for you, and you're leaning on that. And he said that's his delight. They like that. They like that, you know? You know? This is John. Check this out. This is John chapter 14. We're gonna get verse 1. Listen. Let not let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in Yahweh, believe also in me. You hear that? Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in Yahweh, believe also in me. You know? You know? You believe in Yahweh Shai, man. You believe in Yahweh, you good. It's all about belief. I believe that probably got to be my next lesson. It's all about belief, you know? You know? People don't believe something's after all. People don't believe life is going to happen after all this is over. Thanks to Esau Edom and his false doctrine. They believe people just going to be all floating in heaven. Life is over with. All the rest of eternity is you all singing. Singing praise, that's it. Nah, life is going to continue. Life is going to continue. Listen, at my father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. But I go prepare a place for you. But I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. You hear? You hear? So what? Yahweh Shai left. And what? There's our places being prepared. Planets are prepared. Planets are prepared. We don't know what's on them other planets yet. When the elect get there, there might be infrastructures already set up. There might be systems already set up, and all you and yours have to do is just dwell in it. These things are prepared already. Now, we don't know the full scope of it, but we'll see. Because what? Eyes are not heard, ears are not heard. Or the things Yahweh Shem Shai has planned for his people, roughly paraphrasing. But yeah, you gotta have that faith. You gotta have that faith like those people did. Carrying that man up into the roof, opening the roof just for Yahweh and leaning him down just for Yahweh Shai to lay hands on him. That was a demonstration of faith, that's a demonstration of faith. And that's what we're going to have in these last days, that demonstrate that faith, Leading on that faith to what? Leave everything behind. When they draw that line of who's with them or who's not, and that line is gonna be that MOTB, that line is gonna be that MOTB, will you depend on me or whatever else is out there, and we know what's out there. It's the only true power, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, you gonna have to have that faith to walk away from this place. You're gonna have to have that faith. So with that, I hope you was edified. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the whole elect, the house of David. Until next time, Yahweh willing, Shalom.